Alright, welcome back to Wrestling Rants and Reviews, folks. I'm Big Mike, and this is TNA Random Thoughts, as you can see by the title up above. And I was just watching Ultimate Matches, one of the TNA DVDs I got just out of random, and one of the matches that I watched was the King of the Mountain match from '05, I believe it was. It was AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jeff Jarrett, Chris Harris, Raw, the Truth Killings. And that may be it, but I think there was one more. I might be forgetting, but was it Christian? This may have been Christian, actually. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But hey, it was a great match. But it just got me thinking about TNA a little bit. And I'll start off with one of my thoughts on TNA and Universal Studios wanting to crack down on the uses of cell phones or tablets or netbooks or whatever you're allowed to take into the impact zone, or were allowed to take into the impact zone. I can see them cracking down on that because of the spoilers. I really would like to see impacts without spoilers. I know it's up to us as viewers whether we want to watch them or not, but I always check them out because sometimes it makes me want to check out the show or not. You know, it doesn't mean matter. Winning and losing to me doesn't fucking matter. It just lets me know if it's a show worthy of watching or not. So I think they'll have a hard time doing it. But if they do it, what the hell's going to happen? Are you going to get amnesia right away? As soon as you leave the impact zone, you're going to forget what happened? So what, you jump in your car, you get on your fucking cell phone or whatever it is, and you send the spoilers to whatever dirt sheet it is you send them to. You know, so I don't think it'll make a difference. They can try and do that. You know, ROH does it with digital cameras. You know, they don't mind if the results get out there, but they're more worried about footage. You know, I don't blame them really because, you know, they don't have a TV deal as of yet. You know, and they rely a lot on their DVD sales, like 100%. You know, they sell a lot of fucking DVDs, so if I was to tape it and make my own copy or fucking upload a bunch of matches randomly on YouTube, then, you know, how is ROH going to turn a profit? You know, say you really wanted to see Generico and Steen from Final Battle, but you can watch it on YouTube. You're not going to buy the DVD, right? But that's not TNA talk, that's ROH talk, but let's go back to some TNA. So I think they'll have a rough time taking away the cell phones and that. And if they do, who cares? You're not going to forget. You're going to fucking type in the spoilers after you leave the impact zone anyways. And also, I've talked to a couple friends the last couple days, and I've really been thinking about it. Other than marketing TNA better and getting out of the impact zone, I really think they need to do this one thing to make themselves more noticeable. Because it's just us, you know, me and you and you and you and you, that really know about, not just watch TNA, but know about TNA. You know, you have some 8-year-old kid that's sitting second row at a fucking Raw show like, hey, you know, you watch TNA? What the fuck's TNA? You ask some 45-year-old dude, hey man, watch TNA last night? It was pretty fucking good shit. Huh? What's TNA? Who's AJ Styles? Who's Beer's Money? You know? But, because it's not mainstream enough yet. They think they are, but they're not. If they were, they would be getting the views, or, you know, there'd be more chatter about TNA at the water cooler more so than Sheamus and Randy Orton at the water cooler. You know, and I think this is one thing they need to do, and this is what WCW did. And I hate to compare the two because it gets compared to WCW all the time, but WCW picked up Hall and Nash and Hogan. Enough said. In 96 or 94, when all this shit went down, between 94 and 96, you know, Hogan, Nash, and Hall, even before the NWO, you know, that's when they started to turn people's heads, be like, wow, this is a lucrative company. You know, and you're going to say, well, TNA's got Hogan. No, people have given up on Hogan. What TNA needs to do is grab that kind of superstar. And they thought they did. With an Anderson, with a Hardy, both Hardys, with an RVD, you know, with all these other, you know, even Angle. Like, Angle didn't bring that many. Booker didn't bring that many. Christian didn't bring that many. You know, they need a main inventor. Like Randy Orton or John Cena for people to really take notice. And that's what WCW did with Hall and Nash and Hogan. And you guys might think I'm crazy, and I know that's not going to happen. And that's what's going to keep TNA in the distance. Because if it wasn't for Nash and Hall and Hogan and maybe Macho Man, you know, the more lucrative main eventers at that time, jumping ship and going to WCW, not a lot of people would have turned their head and gave them a second chance. And that's what people are doing to TNA right now. So what, they got Anderson. You know? To me, in my opinion, Anderson was great. But he wasn't the main eventer that was mainstream enough to get everybody to turn their heads. If you had an Orton or an Edge or a Cena or that type of main eventer really show up on fucking WC or TNA, then the world will be talking. You know, be like, wow, John Cena went to TNA. You know, more mark kids or more mark WWE fans that are oblivious to TNA or won't give them a shot because they don't know who Kazarian is or they don't know who Christopher Daniels is. This would give them more of a, wow, they're doing something, you know? So, I don't know if that makes much sense to you guys, you know, because, I don't know, but that's what they need. They need someone, you know, to go along with the marketing and get out of the impact zone. If you say you got a Randy Orton and you decided to go to, oh, I don't know, Chicago with TNA, and you were to market and promote better outside of the impact zone with that main eventer, you're going to get a lot more people to look at you and buy tickets. And that's when you become lucrative, you know, or more lucrative as a company because you have a bigger and better selling point. It's hard to go into a wrestling market and try and sell TNA on WWE has-beens that never really made a huge name for themselves, opposed to, you know, going in there and saying, hey, I got a Randy Orton or an Edge. That'll make people think, oh, okay, right on, we'll pump the shit out of this. You know, because I'm going, here's my tickets right here. You know, I don't know how well you can see. You know, right there. Focus. Maybe not, maybe. Fucking light's too bright. But those are my TNA tickets. I'm going to TNA in London in like 2 weeks, 3.5 weeks, 2 weeks. On June 16th, however long that time away is. And, you know what? I wouldn't have known about it if I didn't watch TNA. That's the only reason why I know about it. The advertising around here, I'm like 40 minutes away from London. A half hour on a good day. You know? And I don't know that they're going to be in London. But if I didn't watch TNA or go to their website, I wouldn't have no fucking clue who the fuck TNA is or why they're coming there or when they're coming there. So that's what I mean. Marketing, getting out of the impact zone, and getting that main event talent. Not your, you know, let's say Morrison leaves. That and goes to TNA. It may help. You know, I doubt it. Zack Ryder, he's not going to help. But TNA would surely pick him up. They need someone bigger. They got Sting. No one cares about Sting, really. He's a has-been. No one cares about RVD. Hate to say it, he's out of the limelight. Kurt Angle's out of the limelight of all these WWE fans. They need someone current, like in a main event. Not Anderson. Not Hardy. You know, not Elijah Burke. You know? So, I don't know. I can keep saying that over and over and over. So, I'll stop. I'll shut up. But I hopefully I just stressed the point enough that you guys know what I'm talking about. And, that's it. This is my couple of my TNA thoughts. I know it's taking about 10 minutes or so to talk about it. But, you know. And just because I showed you my TNA tickets there, I'm going to let you know that I ordered 3 Don West brown bag specials. That's right. I did. I ordered them before. And I ordered it once before. And I thought it was good. They got 4 decent DVDs and a t-shirt. And this time I'm going to get 12 DVDs and 3 t-shirts for $48. Because they're on sale right now, 30% off. You know, and $16 for 4 DVDs and a t-shirt. You fuck can't go wrong. and you're only allowed 3 at a time, so that's $48. However, because I live in this fucking Canada, and, you know, we gotta go across the border, I get fucking jacked for, like, taxes and, like, a $35 shipping, so it's like $80. However, work it out. You know, if the shirts, let's say the shirts aren't even a brand new shirt, say they're worth $15 a piece, that's $45 for 3 shirts. That's leaving me around $40 for 12 DVDs. Not bad. It's like $3.50 a DVD, so works out all right in my books. But anyways, enough about me and my DVDs. There will definitely be an on-bagging whenever the fuck they get here. I should have done an on-bagging with my TNA tickets. You might have seen them a little bit better because the bright's too fucking light, or the light's too bright. But yeah, let me know your opinions on this, on the Universal Studios or TNA trying to take away the phones from spoilers. Do spoilers matter? Let me know. And let me know, do you think TNA, other than marketing and getting out the Impact Zone, do they need a better main eventer to set themselves apart from WWE or compete with WWE? Say John Cena or Randy Orton. That's what WCW did. I honestly think that's why WCW ended up getting in the running. You know, they had Perfects and stuff and DiBiase's and Bulldogs and Neidharts, just like TNA's got the Andersons, the Hardys, and the Angles and the Christians. However, it wasn't until they got the bigger name, Hogan and Hall and Nash, until they got seen more. But anyways, that's me. That's my 2 cents, and I'm out.